It completely blows my mind how many people are online right now complaining about how the tech job market is trash, nobody is hiring, and everybody is getting laid off. Well, the reality is the market is not the problem. It's not the problem. And how do I know this? Because years ago, I was in your position experiencing these same problems. I'm submitting hundreds, if not thousands of applications. I'm never hearing anything back. And when I do hear something back, it's for a position that I'm not interested in and doesn't pay what I'm looking for. And then I repeat the cycle of trying to go do tech training, try to get a certification, and it continues to happen when the solution was staring at me in the face the entire time. So if that is you right now, in this video, I'm going to tell you my way to get you hired. Now, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. The things that I do can be a little bit unique, but the proof is in the pudding because they didn't just work for me. They have worked for thousands of people. So if you are prepared to take full accountability and responsibility for your goals in your career, then this video is for you because it is going to be a game changer and it is going to create some clarity like you have never seen before to help you overcome the challenges that you are facing right now in your career. Because there are 3 huge barriers that most job seekers are doing right now. It is completely destroying their career. And let me explain. Earlier in my career, when I was working in tech support and I decided that I wanted to pivot into cybersecurity, I did what many of you guys are probably doing right now. I went and did the Security Plus training. I got the Security Plus, and in my mind now, boom, I am a security professional. So I go on LinkedIn, I go to Indeed.com, I put this security certification on my resume, and I just start firing off applications like you would not believe. I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 applications a day. And I am either getting these rejection emails almost immediately, or I'm hearing absolutely nothing at all. And y'all, this was so discouraging. After you put in the work to go and learn this new material to pass this exam, like why are the companies not reaching out? And so I started to blame the system. Like, why are they not hiring me? I've been doing this stuff for years. I have this certification. Why not me? Why won't companies give me a shot? And if you are feeling like that, I completely understand, y'all. I was there too. But I want you guys to understand there are 2 sides to every coin. Nothing is one-sided. Nothing is one-sided. So as I grew wiser and started to mature, I had to look at the other side of the coin. Because if you hear the words that I'm saying is, why are they not giving me an opportunity? I went and got this certification. I've been doing this for years. These companies are not hiring you for what you do or what you have. They are not. And one of the reasons why many people struggle to land a job is because they don't know why companies hire. And when you don't know why companies hire, it is going to be almost impossible to put yourself in position to first get hired. Because what you'll do is you'll take the same advice, generic advice, and do it, and it doesn't work for you, and then you blame the market instead of taking responsibility when the problem is really you. Trust me, I've been there, y'all. Everything that I teach y'all on this channel, from my journey from going from $0 to making millions of dollars a year as a cybersecurity consultant, all came the hard way because I didn't get formal education with this. But these principles that I'm teaching you, especially in this video, are going to work if you're trying to get a tech job, if you're trying to get an accounting job, if you're trying to become a consultant. It don't matter what field, what industry. These principles are universal when it comes to leveling up your career. And so we have to get to the place where we are not sabotaging our chances. And it's subtle things, guys. So the first mistake that people make when it comes to try to grow their career is they take the spray and pray approach when it comes to job applications. I want y'all to think about this. When you are on LinkedIn or you're on dice.com, monster.com, nowadays these job boards have put something out that's called quick apply. So I just want to be clear with you all real quick. When I hear someone that's saying, you know what, I submitted 500 applications. Let's be real about this. Did you take the time to go in and fill out all the details, provide a cover letter for that job application, or did you just click the quick apply? If you just clicked the quick apply, you did not submit 500 applications. You clicked 500 buttons, and that takes zero effort. Zero effort to do that. So one of the things that I teach my coaching clients when we're meeting each week, I have an internship where we work on cybersecurity projects for my consulting company, and I'll ask my interns a question, and then people will immediately start popping off. And I'm like, okay, where'd you get that answer from? And they can't defend the answer that they gave me. But I'm like, hey, why are you guessing? The questions that I'm asking you are coming straight from a security standard that is documented. So why not take a moment, look up the answer, and then provide it to me? The reason why most people don't do this is because they've been conditioned that being quick and fast is good. But I'm here to tell you it's wrong. Being slow and accurate is much better. Because if you are quick and fast and you're inaccurate, you're going to have to do it again. So why not take your time? But most importantly, it is virtually impossible to be two people at one time. This is what I mean. If I am in a structured learning environment working with a team of consultants, and whenever I'm asked a question, I guess, you know what I'm going to do when I get to the job interview? If I'm asked a question, I'm going to guess. You know what I'm going to do when I finally land the job? If I land the job, I am going to guess. Why? Because we are creatures of habit. Humans are the most predictable people on the planet because you can model what they do. You can actually gauge what actions they are going to take by their habits. This is why we have to build good habits first before we take action trying to get a job. So you're probably thinking, Boyd, what the heck does that guy do with my application? Let me explain this to you. If I'm an employer, which I am, when I post a job description on LinkedIn, I am going to look at the people that did the click apply versus people that took the time to fill out the complete application with the cover sheet. And you know who I am looking at first? Not the ones that did click apply. To be honest, I'm probably not going to look at the quick applies at all. And it goes back to that principle that I'm teaching you. If you are going to take the spray and pray approach and be extremely quick with trying to get the job, then what makes me think you are going to do anything differently when you get the job? So believe it or not, guys, the actions that you take leading up to that job is actually a display of your skill set, your communication ability, your integrity, your work ethic. Everything is on display. The way you respond to the recruiters, the way you respond to the emails, the way you show up to the virtual meeting, the interview, because you're actually showing up in your work environment if this is a virtual job or remote job. It's things to consider. So this second mistake that job seekers traditionally make is there is a lack of alignment. And so the way I look at it like this is I live in Dallas, Texas right now. And let's say that you are in New York and you say, hey, Boyd, I want to meet you in Texas. Okay, cool. Texas is bigger than most countries. Where you going to meet me in Texas? Dallas? Fort Worth? San Antonio? I don't know. So when I'm talking about lack of alignment, you have to think about your career, guys. Your career is just a vehicle to a specific destination. But if you have not defined that specific destination, it is going to be entirely difficult to land a job because you are not going to be focused and tailored to that role. Here's what I mean. Don't say, hey man, I want to get into cybersecurity. That is so generic. There's security analysts, there's policy writers, there's program managers, there's compliance analysts, there's business analysts, there's penetration testers. There are so many different roles, but you're just saying cybersecurity. So if you don't have clarity on what it is that you want to accomplish, how can you align yourself for that opportunity? What you are doing is waiting on a chance when it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You can be very targeted and specific to that opportunity that you want, but it takes effort on the front end. That same effort that it's going to take to succeed in the role. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Ain't nobody out here giving jobs away in cybersecurity. Because cybersecurity is about the CIA. confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Companies are hiring you to protect million-dollar assets and sometimes billion-dollar assets. So believing that they are going to give you an opportunity for something that is so significant does not make business sense. So remember, guys, I was talking about things being two-sided. When I turned that coin over from focusing on me and my emotions about what I've invested into this, and I started focusing on what the company actually needed, that is what changed everything. So you have to get very clear on what role you want and how you are going to provide value that demonstrates and showcases you as the best person for that job. So what this looks like specifically is like, you want to get into cybersecurity. Maybe I want to become a cybersecurity auditor working in PCI DSS. Maybe I want to become a cybersecurity auditor working in ISO 27001. Maybe I want to be an internal security assessor helping companies with SOX compliance. Maybe I want to be a cybersecurity analyst working in a NOC reviewing vulnerability scans. When I am targeted and specific to a role, now that's going to help me know what keywords that should be on my resume. It's going to help me understand the talking points, why those roles even exist at companies. So I should know how to communicate what the companies are looking for and why it is important to them. When you do this, things will completely change. So the third problem that most job seekers make, and this right here is the biggest one, y'all. The biggest one is not being able to communicate your value. So one of the things that people have said about me online is like, Boyd, you say you don't need a certification. Like, why are you ragging on certifications? I want to be clear. I'm going to say this again for like the 100,000th time. I don't rag on certifications. There's nothing wrong with them. You need to get the certification. Don't let the certification get you. This is what I mean. One of the things I do for my clients is everything that I teach them about job acquisition strategies, because I don't believe in submitting applications. But this video, I'm just putting this out here just in case you want to submit applications. I don't believe in it. I don't do it. I don't teach my clients to do it. But there is an art in the way that you do this to attract jobs. However, people don't talk about the hardest part of this whole job acquisition thing is to get the interview, because you can't get the job unless you actually have an interview, an opportunity to communicate your value. People would tell you, hey, I'm gonna get this certification, then I'm gonna get the job. It don't jump that way, y'all. It does not jump that way. You have to first get the interview. But in order to provide confidence to that employer that you can use the job, that you can do the job, you gotta communicate. So one of the things I do for my clients is, as I'm testing these job acquisition strategies, different resume tactics and whatnot, I actually go on interviews, y'all. I go on job interviews. I record these interviews and I give the video footage to my clients so they see the questions that are being asked by these 250,000 plus positions and how I'm responding to them. And one of the common things that they have seen is, you know what, boy, they're not asking you about certifications. They're not asking you about college degrees. They're not asking you anything about what you learned. I was like, exactly. Because all of those things are not important when a company is hiring you. Do y'all hear me? It's not important. So first of all, I don't have a college degree. Failed out of college my second year. But what I'm saying is that the things that they're asking me in these interviews is like, hey, if you were in this situation, how would you do this? Here's the situation we had. How did you address this before? They are asking me questions based on my experience. Therefore, that certification can't not help me in that situation. I hope y'all are getting what I'm saying. In order for you to be able to maximize your hiring ability, that requires you to have experience to do work. And one of the biggest complaints that I see online is people saying, oh man, even to get an entry-level job, you got to have experience. In order to get experience, you got to get a job. That is a lie. That is a lie. I want you to think about this right now. Right now, you're watching me on some type of mobile phone, a laptop computer or something. You have experience with logging into YouTube to watch this video, but you ain't have to get a job to do that. You could confidently speak to how you are watching this video right now. This is what I'm saying, because you're probably thinking like, what that guy do anything? Your experience is only limited by your creativity. I get asked all the time, what kind of project should I work on? That question would actually be easy for you to answer if you had identified the specific role that you were looking for and then identify the specific skills that are needed for that role. Then you could create the projects yourself to do, so you could speak to how you have done that in an interview. I cannot say this enough, y'all. If you cannot communicate what value you can bring, you will not get hired. It's extremely difficult. And so it's not just enough to be able to communicate it on paper. If your resume does not display this value, you are never going to get an opportunity to get to the interview in the first place to communicate your value. So if you are in the position right now where you are actually getting interviews for the opportunities that you want, it's paying you the right amount, that means that your resume is good, your LinkedIn profile, etc. is good, and that means you just need to work on your communication ability so that you show up as the problem solver. So you may be wondering, like, all right, boy, so how do I even do all this? I got you covered. I got you covered. 3 things to fix the 3 problems. Number 1, you need to get clear on your ideal role, right? Get clear and stop searching for jobs based on job titles if you're going to apply. Don't do that, because job titles mean something different to every company. I knew IT directors that made 40K at one company, IT directors that made 500 at another. Seriously, you should actually be looking for jobs based on the skill set. So if you're going to go to LinkedIn or Monster to search for a job, don't put in a job title. In that search field, put in a skill. Maybe you want to put in Cisco networking, Cisco firewalls, CyberArk, Qualys. Now you put those skills in there, it's going to bring back jobs that line up with that skill set. Then you will be able to look and identify which ones line up with your abilities. It's so much easier to pivot into cybersecurity, leveraging the skills and the ability that you already have, because it's going to be easy for you to speak to what you already know and can do. Simple as that. Number 2, you have to tailor your resume and your profile to that specific role. Think about this, y'all. I've told you, companies are hiring you to protect million, if not billion-dollar assets, and they want specialists. So if you are showing up and your resume is not aligned with the person that they're looking for, you are going to be skipped. So the one resume for all roles approach is not going to help you. It's not serving you. You have to get clear on what role you want, and your resume needs to reflect that you are the person for that role. Very, very simple. You have to highlight also the wins that you had, the value that you brought to the company. Your resume should not contain a list of tasks, because anybody can be paid to do a task, right? Anybody. But the people that provide value, understand the why behind why that task is being done, is more empowered to instruct and manage and inspire other people to go do the work. And that's where the money is made. Number 3, the best opportunities come from networking, not applications. So number 3, as weird as this may sound, y'all, would actually be, don't submit applications, y'all. I tell my clients this: people hire people, not robots. Every job that has paid me more than $150,000 has not come from a job application. It came from networking. It came from recruiters. It came from building my brand, showcasing my expertise. Because people don't know who you are, then how are they going to reach out to you? You become the world's best kept secret. And that does not serve you when you are trying to get a new opportunity. So you have to build your network and leverage it to be able to get in front of the right people to be able to close the deal. And when you do this, not only is it going to reinforce who you are, but it's going to also help you learn better about the things and the value that you can bring. This is going to force you to be intentional. It's going to force you to be intentional. Because if you want to take your career to great heights, you want to start making 200K plus, you have to build a brand to be able to do it. Because companies have gone away from just, oh, we're going to look at a bunch of applications. So they're using networking and they're using recruiters. And this is the thing that I have learned in my career, and I have seen it work for hundreds, if not thousands of other people, y'all, using these same principles. So I want y'all to consider that. Like, I know some of these things that I'm talking about in this video is going to take a little while to sit on you. But if you do the same thing that you've been doing, you are going to get the same results that you have been getting. So if you take the time to really develop and think about what career that you want, what role, what value am I going to bring, all this changes. It completely changes. You're no longer shooting in the dark, right? So the highest paid people in just about every professional are consultants. And consultants generally are not the ones fixing anything. They are ones communicating, identifying problems, and telling other people what to do. What does that mean? What does that tell you? That means the market values communication ability. And if you cannot communicate your skill set, if you are not clear on what you can do, who you can serve, how you can help them, you will continue to fail at leveling up your career. So guys, that is it for this video. I hope that this was informative. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.